I just really want people to know that I'm this person who came from the province of the Philippines, a small town, in the mountainside. And I did my best to become who I want to be. And I created something that, you wouldn't even imagine creating. And I want to spread that positivity. I want to spread that inspiration to the young people, especially those who are in the grassroots, that they can really live their dreams. At the same time, they can impact their own communities as well if they want to. So in this world where consumerism and capitalism is a big thing, you don't have to be sucked into that, because you can do your own thing and just be brave and learn a lot from your experiences. So I think I would love people to see me as that, a driven person and fearless person. I just really look back to my life before, like if you're from the grassroots, you won't even imagine doing things like this, traveling around the world and stuff. So yeah, I just really want people to know that you can do it.
Hello everyone, my name is Dinlong and welcome to the podcast Lifeline. In this podcast, I will interview people who are having a positive impact in their community and have a strong message that deserves to be shared. We will dive deeper into their journey becoming a changemaker, and hopefully you can take away some insights for your own journey. In this episode, you will be meeting Gladys, a fearless filmmaker from the Philippines, who co-founded Development Innovation Insider, a content creator and solution provider for the bottom of the pyramid. You will hear the story of a strong woman who grew up in the mountains of Mindanao with a dream to become a filmmaker. Not only she did, but she's now focused on showcasing grassroots innovations and training aspiring changemakers from all around the world to become impact journalists. We discuss why it's important for her to improve the lives of the underserved. We discuss why it's important for her to work with grassroots communities and to improve the lives of underserved communities. We talked about how she never gave up her dream to become a filmmaker, and she shares with us the crazy journey of Development Innovation Insider. Hello, Gladys.
Hi, Dinlong. How are you?
Good. I'm so happy, really happy to have you on Lifeline because Linka that I interviewed in the first episode speaks a lot about you. And even though I think you, in all the episodes of Lifeline I did so far, you're the first one that I've never met in real life, but I've been following you a lot on social media, and Linka keeps saying that Gladys is super amazing. So I can't wait actually to speak with you. So I'm super excited.
Me too.
Yeah, thank you. I think easiest way to start is I'll invite you to introduce yourself, maybe where you come from, and like what are the things that you are doing these days.
Yes, sure. First of all, thank you for having me here. I'm very excited. I also follow your podcast, and I'm so excited to be here. So the first question you asked me, I'm Gladys, by the way. Hello to all the listeners. I'm from the Philippines, and I co-founded Development Innovation Insider. And I'm a documentary filmmaker as well. So I'm based right now in Manila, but my work is actually throughout Southeast Asia, Asia Pacific in general, actually. So aside from that, I also run Change Magazine in Diinsider. So Change Magazine is a magazine where we publish all social impact articles by our global correspondents. So basically, you can sum up my life as a media producer in general. So doing documentaries, videos, short videos, and doing some magazine production. Yeah.
Could you explain briefly what is Diinsider?
Sure. So Diinsider, or Development Innovation Insider, we founded this with actually strangers, I would say, because it's they're not my friends. Like, I didn't know them for a long time. I just met them sometime, and we had a conversation, just having the same passion of scaling up grassroots, because for one, I am from a grassroots community, and growing up not having some opportunities in those areas, I can relate to it. And having the privilege to have the education I needed, and I just want also to help out my fellow people who are in the grassroots. So basically, we created Development Innovation Insider. We are a content creator and social content creator and solutions provider for those who are working in the grassroots. So partner organizations, communities, government, academia, companies. So everyone who is working to uplift the grassroots, we work with them. So for my side, I am responsible for the media production. So we create contents for organizations and these different stakeholders. And we also do some research, and we also do consultancy. So yeah, that's basically Diinsider. We are all over the world, I would say. We have a headquarter here in Manila, in the Philippines. We also have in Myanmar, and we also do have our HQ is in China as well. Yeah.
Wow. Cool. Yeah, I think it's a very interesting, recipe, because I guess you worked with communities trying to develop solutions, but you'll also have this part on media production, which I find very interesting. I mean, it's usually not something that you see in different, in other solutions provider in general. They don't have this media component. So I think it's very interesting. But yeah, no, we'll come back to that. But I wanted to add on. So you said you grew up in the grassroots community.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
So yeah, could you share a bit more? Like, where did you grow up?
Yeah, so I grew up in Mindanao. So Mindanao is the southern part of the Philippines. If you are from an international perspective, you might heard that if you are a foreigner, people will say, "Don't go to Mindanao; it's a war zone." Or like a lot of people are being kidnapped in Mindanao. There are a lot of terrorists there. But I did grow up there, and it's a beautiful place. I grew up in the mountainside. So the name of my province is Don Victoriano Misamis Occidental. It's a beautiful place where you can see mountains, and I do grow up in the mountainside. Also, I am half indigenous, so my mother's heritage is the Subanin tribe. So I'm part Subanin as well. So yeah, I grew up there, and I have a lot of experience. Not seeing like I remember when I was growing up, seeing the sea or the ocean, the beach amazes me because we don't have that in the mountains. So every time we go to the city, I'm so amazed by that. And right now, looking back, I really love my life in the mountains. But right now, I also love living in the city, and especially giving back to those communities that I have been. It really warms my heart to have those experiences in my childhood, and then when I grew up right now, I can think holistically, because I have experiences in those.
I see. Wow, I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, like so yeah, I also wanted to. So I've seen on your LinkedIn that you wrote that you grew up bombarded by media and that it shaped who you are. Is it the same period of time? I mean, is it when you grew up in the mountains, or did it come a bit later?
It is, I would say both, but mainly more when I grew up in the mountains because as I said, don't have a lot of things to do in the mountains. Well, beside going and exploring to some places there, going to the rivers and playing in the dirt and in the mountainside. So it fascinates me to always watch films, always watch TV series or something in the TV that I have never seen before. I have never seen a big city before, so I only saw it in the television, and yeah, I'm just really fascinated about communication and about these things that I thought that time I would never see, but I I was bombarded by it because of the rise of television, like radio. Growing up, we don't have internet at that time, so I really rely on television, and it opened my eyes to a lot of possibilities and to dream because I have seen this in the media. And so yeah, I'm very fascinated by that, and I'm just so glad that I became a media practitioner. I also didn't know that I would be a media practitioner because when I entered college, my major was math, like
Oh,
applied mathematics. Yes, so it's it's a bit I don't know, maybe it's really destiny to be in a media world where I really love. I wouldn't trade it for anything else.
So yeah, just to understand your thinking process. So like you grew up with, I know, this all this media, and you were like, okay, it allows me to explore so many parts in the Philippines, maybe in the world, and to dream about things. So you were like, okay, I want to be part of this, and at some point, and bring this to more people. So, but did it mean that you knew you wanted like to be a filmmaker, or how? It was just something you thought about it later.
Well, I think part of me growing up and being exposed to the media, how do you say that? The process of the media really helped. So when I was growing up in elementary and in high school, I love script writing. I love to create movies. So when we were high school, I was actually directing already some films for our play, and I love it. I enjoy it. I think I'm the only one who loves it because my other classmates don't want to direct it. It's a tedious work, and I just love it a lot. And yeah, we even joked that I would become a director someday. And yeah, for me, I love being creative. I love seeing creativity come to life. And so I think it really shaped me a lot. Um, and also like seeing the beauty of the countryside and like thinking I wanted to capture this one day. It really also pushed me to become a filmmaker that I am today. But of course, there are a lot of influences as well. When I was in college, I was introduced to documentary filmmaking. I didn't really know docu-filmmaking before. I only know documentaries on TV. I like documentaries on TV, but when I saw documentary films, like cinematically shot, very filmy, like they put it in a film like, and I was so in awe that I can do that. I can capture real stories and make it in a very creative way. And capture it in such a way where people be moved by the story, by the cinematography, by editing. I just love it a lot. So yeah, I did have my internship with a renowned documentary filmmaker here. It's also funny story because I just like emailed her and say I really love your documentary filmmaking skills and I want to be part of it. I want to learn from it. I want to enter this world. So yeah, I just that happened. I did get the internship, and so I became a filmmaker I am today because of those experiences.
Wow. Yeah, so I think that's a good advice to all uni students listening. Do send emails to people you admire and ask for an internship. But yeah, so to come back on that, so you were still studying math, right? Well, I mean, so you were studying math and there was this, so yeah, so first I want to understand a bit better, like why or how come did you end up studying mathematics?
Okay, we have this test, right? Like a test in a university. So I wanted to enter University of the Philippines. It's the highest ranking university in the Philippines. So I entered that, and peer pressure aside, I think because my friends wanted to be accountants. So I said, yeah, maybe I'll also be an accountant. I don't really think about like being a filmmaker at that time because I know that it doesn't have a lot of money and it's just peculiar for a girl from the countryside to be in that profession because like people in the countryside they will want you to become doctors, accountants, lawyers, things like that. So I put there some accountancy or something, and then when I received the results I got into the university, but it says that I got in for like degree program with available slot. And then the only available slot at the time is applied mathematics. But I really want to go to that university, so I just got it. And I was thinking, yeah, maybe I'll just go with the math and transfer to accountancy after one semester. But then I didn't know that I will be transferring to to media studies because I've always saw these people from the media studies department and they are just so cool, and I cannot phantom myself like not being one of them because that's really what I want in life. So I called my mom and my dad at the time saying that sorry, I'm gonna shift next semester for the communication and media studies department because it's really what I love and I think I could make it work, maybe accountancy is really not my thing. And also I was really struggling with the math. Like I don't really I don't hate it, but I hate that I study every night. Like it shouldn't be not fun, my colleagues or my classmates, they always like raise their hands when our teacher wanted to solve this equation, but I just can't. I need to have time to think about it and all, and I tell myself I don't really want that. I want to have fun. I want to learn and be interested in what I'm learning. So yeah, I shifted. The next semester I did shift. So I only have one semester for the math.
Okay, yeah. So basically, when you shifted, is like, it like it's like the first time you decided for yourself, basically, like which topic you wanted to study.
I would say yes. Yeah.
Cool. No, because it could happen much later. You never know, and it's nice that you had this bravery. I would say so young.
I wouldn't say bravery. It was also, I would say, destiny as well, because there is a process when you shift, right? So we undergo this process, and I think I actually didn't finish the process, and I was just shocked that the the admin called me and said to all shifties to this department, go to this date and we'll have an interview with you. And I said, but I didn't finish my process. But anyway, I got it, and I told my parents I need to go to this date, because I live from another island in Mindanao, so I have to flew back to Iloilo. That's where I study, so I need to flew back days earlier than expected because of that call.
So you switch, and then you had this internship with the documentary filmmaker. So yeah, like if we flash forward a bit, like did you, was this education, like, did it meet your expectations, and did you learn, like, everything that you are using today?
Definitely. I mean, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I learned a lot from my professors. I learned a lot from the experiences I had with the university. Um, I had friends. I had a lot of experiences that I wouldn't trade. I met some of my best, I wouldn't like best friends and even best colleagues from that program. So yeah, I was really happy to be in that program, um, and yeah, I mean, right now when we fast forward, I am producing our first feature length documentary film, and the director of that is actually my schoolmate. We are also part in the same organization before in during college days. So yeah, I'm just really happy that I've met all these amazing people. I learned a lot. One of my professor, Dr. Zoilo Andrada, he is also very supportive with Diinsider. He Change Magazine even started in his class. So like everything is actually connected with that, and I'm just really happy that I did it. And also because in my university, so I studied in University of the Philippines, Visayas. So it's in Iloilo. So unlike other universities, this is situated in a more remote place. So we interact with the community. So we don't just interact with the school, with the administration or like the school in general, but we also connected with communities. So I think it also shaped me on how I practiced my media studies to communities. So yeah, I think I would never ever trade anything with that experience.
Cool. So yeah, so it was definitely the right decision. So the first documentary you mentioned, is it the advocacy film you did on human trafficking?
No. This is actually, so I made a lot of short documentaries as well before. So this one is the first feature length documentary. So like a movie, it's 1.5 hour, and hopefully it will be shown in theaters. So that's what we are working on right now. So the one advocacy film that Linka talked about, or I have also posted on on my Facebook, it was with an organization, a local organization called Eclipse. So they wanted to create a short documentary advocacy video about human trafficking in Ormoc, where it is the hotbed for human trafficking in the Visayas region. So we created that short video. It was not actually for in the internet, in YouTube or in Facebook. It was more on the ports, seaports, airports, in the community, yeah, so that people will know how to reach out if there are human trafficking happening. And because the airports and the seaports are the contacts, the first contact where you can intercept human trafficking activity. So they wanted to show it to that, and they did show it to these places. But we also put it in social media, and it gained a lot of views. So we're really happy as well about that.
Okay. And what so I'm not sure like what are like the like how to say but yeah, what, because I guess after you study media communication, you can, I don't know if a lot of people want to work, in the TV, they want to do like Hollywood movies, I don't know. But you decided, okay, I will do a documentary about human trafficking, and then I will start Diinsider to scale up grassroots communities. Um, you were always sure that you wanted to have like this kind of social impact?
I guess so. It's funny because when I told my parents, I told my family about what I do, it's just so complicated. They don't understand what I'm doing in my life. But I think, well, after college, I actually worked with the documentary filmmaker that I interned with. So I became her assistant and also editor. So at that time, I really learned a lot from her. I owe my skills, my documentary skills, with the experiences I had gained from her. And then I also started to do the Diinsider at that time, but only for volunteer work. And I think I'm always really sure that I will be in this kind of work because I don't know, it just feels so right, like I don't want to be part of course, maybe before I want to be part of Hollywood, not really Hollywood, but like prominent TV stations or prominent what they call this prominent production houses. But I guess for me, I just really think that I can do this on my own. I want to showcase people some things that haven't been showcased before, and I think I can do it. And maybe I was just crazy to think that I can do it, but I guess I did it for so I don't know. Like maybe I did it, but still, I never put it in my mind that I'll go to these big networks and work for it. Yeah, I just thought that maybe I can do it myself.
Yeah. How old were you when you started, I mean, doing some first work with Diinsider? And how did it happen?
Yeah, so I was 20 at that time. I just graduated from college and university, and then I worked with a documentary filmmaker. And aside from that, when I have time, I talked with some people, just to connect with other people around the world. And maybe around September or August, I connected with Bolun, which is our co-founder as well at Diinsider. And he was also starting this idea where he wanted to have consultancy and research work for the grassroots. And I said, you know what, I also want that, but not the research part. I want it to be more the media part. And he already knows Change magazine because a year ago I interviewed him for the Change magazine in my class. So I said, maybe we could do articles. We want to showcase more articles about social impact, and I can do that. I mean, I can try to have like to connect with like-minded people and make a magazine and articles. So, and he said, yeah, sure, okay. So let's create this company or like an organization. At the time, it's an organization because we really didn't have like money from it. So, so when I have some time, some free time during that time, 20 years old me, I will I will talk to some people from different parts of the world, and we create Change Magazine. So yeah, I started at 20, but I become full time when I was 22. So that's 2018. I decided to be full time because I have some family issues at that time. I have to go home, and then I don't have work anymore because I cannot do shootings, when I'm home. There's no work from home at that time.
Yeah.
It's not a thing yet. But at Diinsider, it was a thing. So I said, yeah, I mean, let's do this. I think we can create some beneficial work here. And I was just very optimistic, I guess. So I just, looking back now, I can't believe I did that. But yeah, we started. So at that time, so 2 years from my volunteer works, right? So we actually created some partnerships already, and also from Bolun's side, we also get some work. So we decided to create it as a social enterprise, and then eventually we created it as a company right now where we are based in different countries. Yeah.
I think, I mean, it's funny because it sounds like it was so easy for you, you switch, I don't know, you come from, like mountainous area in Mindanao, you managed to go to UP, and then you managed to switch, and then you launch this Change magazine, and then you incorporate the company. It felt like it was, so easy for you.
It feels so easy, but I think it's the experiences also that I experienced growing up made me become more fierce. Like I had a lot of things going on with my family, and it was really tough. And I think it just made me feel like I can do anything. I cannot lose. I don't have to lose because I think I lost a lot with the things that I've been through. And yeah, I just don't think that I cannot do these things. So yeah, it's always the experience I'm grateful for.
So so you never feel, okay, I cannot do this, but you're always like, yeah, this I can do. It's nothing compared to what I've been going through before.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, something like that.
But you never thought that maybe like, I'm too tired, not I'm too tired, but like, Diinsider will not work.
Well, I did. I am an overthinker. It eats me a lot. It eats me being an overthinker. But at the end of that overthinking process, I'm like, yeah, I mean, I don't really think about stuff. But anyway, no. Actually, I have this list as well. Like for example, if this didn't work out, what would I'll be doing? So I have that list, and surprisingly, I have a lot in that list. Like if Diinsider won't work out, then what should I do? So I create this list, and it empowers me because there are actually a lot of things I could do if this don't work out, and it inspires me to do it more because then I know that there are a lot of plan B, plan C, plan D if I do it. So if it works, then super cool. Then if not, then still I have a lot of plans in store for myself. So yeah, I think I will thank my overthinking self for that, but really don't, I won't recommend overthinking. I recommend the list, but the overthinking, not so much. It gives you anxiety sometimes. So no, yeah.
Is it an actual list that you've wrote down?
Yeah, I do. I do write a list. Well, I after that I will throw it away if it worked out or not. But it's in my notebook. I love writing in notebooks. So anyone who is out there listening and wants to give me a birthday gift or any gift, notebooks are the best. I won't throw it away because I'll definitely use it. So I wrote a lot of things in my notebook, and one of that is that list, like what will happen list. And uh, yeah, as I said, it really empowers me to see that there are a lot of things I could do with my life, even if this don't work out. So that gives me empowerment to just do whatever I want, or just not whatever, but just do what feels right for me.
Mm. Is it a question that you ask yourself a lot, or it's more, once a year? Okay, what is my list, or is it something that comes back from time to time?
Well, maybe it's more if I took a leap at something. So, for example, should I get the Diinsider? Should I be a Diinsider full time or not? What if it doesn't work? So I have this list, and then maybe after a year or two, then we have also a lot of other plans, for Diinsider. And then I also think for myself, will this work or not? If not, then what's the plan B? What's the plan C? So I do always create this, especially if we hit or if we want to hit some milestones. And yeah, I think it's just me being an overthinker, but I love having an assurance, I would say. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think it's interesting. So it's like a list, not necessarily of stuff which have nothing to do. Like, for example, I guess, like one option is, okay, what if I'm full-time the insider? If it doesn't work, maybe I can be half-time again, but it could be also, maybe I could just go to Hollywood. So it's like a lot of different options.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a list of options actually. So for example, okay, my priority is really create Diinsider and make it as big, or make it as successful as possible. But what if it don't work out? So maybe I'll just work full time. I mean part time there, and maybe I'll study for my masters. So it's something like that. It's a really realistic list. As I said, I'm a very overthinker person, so I need to create this list so that I'll feel more, I don't know, empowered to just do these priorities and not be scared that I won't do anything after that, because I don't like also not doing something. I like to relax, but then I don't like to relax like for a long time. It's just, I love doing things. So that's why I'm really happy to work at Diinsider. Makes me do a lot of things.
Yeah, it's interesting because from the outside, it really looks like you are a doer, like a super doer, like an overdoer. But so, yeah, for me, it's interesting to know your process of, okay, actually, you facilitate yourself to do things.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also an introvert, so sometimes I do need to have a break, which is very important. I like to relax. I like to take a rest, sleep, get some good, eat some good food, just relax with some people, like friends, or go to some places where it's very beautiful, like beaches, mountains. So I think it's really important to also relax. But from my side, in my personality, I also want to do a lot of things.
So Yeah, to come back on Diinsider. So yeah, I think so. Like Change Magazine, you started it at 20, and now it's this big thing because I've seen some updates. Like you when you are training a lot of international correspondents to write articles. So I think I think it's really amazing. Could you like walk us through a bit how did you make this Change Magazine evolve and grow so much?
Okay, I think I wouldn't take much credit because I would say I take much credit to our correspondents. I really don't. I would say that it's big in terms of our community, but of course, for other communities who are not in the development sector, it's it's not their cup of tea. But I really want this to be also um, a good resource for those who are working in social impact. So before, when I created this in a class in my college days, I just really want a magazine where you can see some positive things that are working and are impacting communities. So I reach out to some organizations, to some friends who are working outside of Philippines, and also from inside the Philippines, and just let them see, let my classmates at that time see that there are amazing social impact that are happening to the world. And for me at that time, I was very fascinated because the word change maker was in the boom. So it was around 2016, 2015 at that time. And I think that's the time where being a change maker, a young change maker, is like a lot of people are doing it. And I want also to that other people are embodying it, especially in my country and also in neighboring countries like in Asia, ASEAN or Asia Pacific. So I created that magazine. At first, I write all the articles, but then I realized that in my class they said we have this thing where if you're a journalist, it's much easier, or it's much more easier to connect to people if you are from that locality. And so I said, I'm not from. I want to hear stories from other places like Indonesia or from Bangladesh, but I don't really know their culture. So we tried to recruit some colleagues from these places, just anywhere around the world, and say, yeah, do you want to be part of this magazine and start creating change, like start creating something that people hasn't seen before? and and surprisingly, there are a lot of people who want that, which is so surprising for me. And so at that time, it's more collaborative work. So I give them some trainings. I research some resources from these different journalism organizations. So I wouldn't say I personally trained them. It's more like we are learning together. So we started to learn together, and we write stories together, and we right now we have different cohorts. So every year we call for our writers global correspondents twice a year. So we have I think we had in January, and then we had in June this year. So this is the second cohort, and we have overall 70 plus correspondents already from different parts of the world, like Asia Pacific, like the Pacific Islands. We have some from South America. We have from Europe. We have from China. We have all places actually, and we also just our goal is to really just want to highlight this organization. There's this social impact in the localities and make it more readable to the world, and inspire others who are also working the same. So our goal is to let this knowledge be anywhere in the world, be accessible. At the same time, easier for the other organizations to connect to other organizations in different countries who are doing the same. So I would say I'm very grateful for our global correspondents who trust us and who are actually my friends right now. I think if I travel around the world, I know a lot of people already because they are already my friends. And we just really got each other in our back. And also, I just want to quickly say that most of our correspondents, I would say all, but yeah, I think I can say all or most of our correspondents are really doing amazing things right now. You know, like they are more into social impact. Some of them even became innovators, became social entrepreneurs. Some of them are journalists already. Some of them work at the development sectors. So I'm really happy and very amazed by this by these things that are happening in this community that we created, because we became a support system. At the same time, we became a career booster, and we became a tight family that we can turn to in this environment of development and social impact.
Wow, that's so cool. Yeah, no, congrats for that. And yeah, so it's basically open to anyone in the world, right?
Yes, yeah, anyone in the world. And right now, I think we wanted to emphasize as well that we are looking for writers who are from different communities, like indigenous, persons with disabilities. We're really looking forward to tap in this community. In fact, one of our correspondents from Thailand, she gave a speech to our friends in Nigeria who are persons with disability community, and she presented our work at Changemag, and that they can definitely apply to our program if they want to.
Okay, so basically how it works is like you have these cohorts for 6 months, and then they write certain amount of articles, which are all, then you publish like one magazine with all the stories, or or everything is available online?
Yeah, right now we did the whole magazine thing last 2 years ago, but I think it's much better if we have it regularly. So right now we have an online version where we publish their articles every month. So maybe 2 times a week, we publish different articles, and then we just collected these articles into package them into a whole, maybe a newsletter right now. So we have a monthly newsletter where you can see all the articles per month. And yeah, it's available online. You can just browse it in our page, www.changemag/Diinsider.com.
Cool. Yeah, I will make sure to add this link add this link as well. So yeah, so Changemag is actually like one part of your work in Diinsider, because you are doing 1 million other things at the same time. So from, I guess, like video production, and then all your you'll explain better than me.
Yeah. So my work is mainly on media production in Diinsider. So we have Change Magazine. I am the lead trainer for the Diinsider Correspondence Program. I am also the editor-in-chief of Change Magazine. So that's one part of my work. The other part is the video productions. So we have productions with different clients. Clients means our partners, which are development workers, all organizations, government or academia, or anyone who is working really for the grassroots, and they wanted to create some contents. So we work on that. Another thing is we also want to give back to our community, and that is why we have our original productions. So we have Catch Up With every Mondays and Thursdays. So that's more of like a 1 minute talk about just different developmental things. It's like a catch up with your friend and what's happening to the world, and it's really informative, very casual, informative. So that's one, and then the other is the sustainable living, where we talk about we invite some development practitioners or social impact practitioners, and we talk about how to create sustainable living practices in our own self. So it's not really like by the book, it's more like even simple practices that we can do at our home. So that's also one thing that we do. And then another is I also produce big big productions. So right now we're also working with our first feature-length documentary film here in the Philippines. It's called Bantay Bukid, or Forest Guards. So yeah, just watch out for that. That's basically what I do.
I think you can do pretty much anything related to media production, so it's good to know. Yeah, like what? So yeah, and yeah, just to clarify again, this is your part, but then is also Bolun who's doing like all this consultancy.
Yes, so we have Bolun, who is also our co-founder, doing consultancy and mainly overseeing all the overall operations that we do. We also have Kongja, which is our other co-founder. He's mainly responsible for research projects, project implementation, stuff like that. Yeah. And we have also a lot of colleagues in our team.
So you had very good complementary skills when you started. So yeah, it's very nice. So yes, what like when you, yeah, how to say, what? So how do you see Diinsider grow in the future? Or because you are, I can see that you are testing and adding in a lot of new things. What are your next steps?
Well, our next steps really is to have stability in the key areas that we are in. So in the Philippines, in Myanmar, because our Myanmar is also starting out. So we wanted to have a good, stable office there. That's our priority this year. The Myanmar office and the Philippine office. And in the future, we really want to create a holistic company where we can be someone who is like I would say a household name for development sector or local communities, local organizations where they can trust us to have our services. At the same time, we give them quality services that can really scale up the impacts that they're doing on the ground. So that's why we have different programs. We have the productions, we have research, we also have some new tech right now, like applications and stuff. But we also want to create more. And I guess you just watch out for what we could do. And we are also very happy if you can be partners. Anyone who is interested to know more about us, then you can reach out for us and, we can talk.
Cool. So yeah, everyone reach out to Gladys if you have any cool project or if you want to start an office somewhere. Yeah, and I have, so yeah, since we are approaching the end, I have a few questions that I always end up with. So it's, yeah, so one is more, since we spoke a lot about the past and we started to speak a bit about the future, I was wondering, what are burning questions in your mind these days that you keep thinking about?
Burning questions I have is, maybe I'll answer it with three questions I have in mind. Number one is, how would the new normal affect the operations that we have in the Insider and also in the world? I'm very interested to know about that. Will it be, will it change a lot? Will we go back to before, where if there are vaccines available or if there are cure? I'm just really curious about that. So that's one question I have. How will this pandemic change us? And then the other question is, um, how far will I learn in the next few years? I love learning, so I'm really curious if what are other things that I could learn or what are other experiences I could encounter. So that's another one. And then the last one is, if we could see some changes, what are the changes that we could see in the next few years? Because it will really shape, first of all, our work, and then it would also change the behavior that we will be in, like as human beings, or in the in this planet. I just really want to know if there are changes, or maybe positive changes. What will be the positive changes that we'll be seeing? Because right now we've seen a lot of negativity in media, and I just really want to see a big, massive, positive change that we can see in the world. So hopefully all of our work that we're doing, especially in the development sector, it pays off, even if it just a little bit. But I'm really I hope that there will be some positive change that we can see. So that's my questions.
So I always tell my friends in France and everywhere that Diinsider is one of the first positive media in Asia Pacific. But is it correct? I never checked with you.
Well, we do have some negative stuff, but we try to put solutions for it. So if we create some articles or videos that are negative, then we put some solutions. We are very solution-based media. So yeah, you could say that we are solutions-based production, I would say.
Yeah, no, I really really count on you guys to to become this. No, I think like if everyone was watching Diinsider's video, reading Change magazine and stuff like this, it could just inspire so many people.
Yeah, we hope to inspire more in the future as well. And this is our work at Diinsider is also very much like we grow with it. Like, I don't have all the answers that I have right now because I'm also trying to learn a lot. So I think if you watch our videos and read our articles before and then up to now, you can say that, oh, there's really something change that is happening. I think I grew up with it. So there are a lot of things that you could see through it as we also grow. So and I'm really happy that most of my colleagues are young people, very enthusiastic, very idealistic. We're very just happy. We're very driven. So I'm really happy that with that. Yeah.
And on your second question, you said you wanted to see to what extent you can learn. Is it more like technical stuff, like in terms of media production, or more like how to manage millions of correspondents, or Or is it something not related to the Insider?
Well, I think it's all of it. Like for myself, how can I learn, or what things do I learn from myself, or experiences that I would have in terms of the insider as well. Our work, because the media landscape is also always changing. How do we change with that? There are a lot of things like AR, VR, XR. These new media technologies, and how do we navigate with that? And I'm really interested if how we navigate with that as well. And then in terms of correspondence, like I would say in general, like how would I learn from all the experiences? Because as I said, I love experiences. I think it's my, like, I learn from doing. So that's why I'm excited for that.
And so my next sort of reflection question is, how do you want people to know you for and to remember you for?
Oh my God, that's really hard. It's a really hard question. I don't really like to be famous or something like that. Maybe I just really want people to know that I'm this person who came from the province of the Philippines, a small town, in the mountainside, and I did my best to become who I want to be, and I created something that you wouldn't even imagine creating, and I want to spread that positivity. I want to spread that inspiration to the young people, especially those who are in the grassroots, that they can really live their dreams. At the same time, they can impact their own communities as well if they want to. So in this world where consumerism and capitalism is a big thing, you don't have to be sucked into that, because you can do your own thing and just be brave and learn a lot from your experiences. So I think I would love people to see me as that, a driven person and fearless person who's not like, sorry, I just really look back to my life before, like if you're from the grassroots, you won't even imagine doing things like this, traveling around the world and stuff. So yeah, I just really want people to know that you can do it.
And I wanted to ask, I forgot, but it's good that you reminded me, because you said you had half indigenous background. Is it, like, to what extent did it, I don't know, shape who you are today?
Well, it did shape a lot of me, because um, growing up, I'm very competitive. Like I go to every contests I go to, and sometimes when we go to contests, and if you're young, and if I'm from indigenous background, there are a lot of like discrimination for that. So yeah, I've experienced discrimination before, that we are not like smart enough to be in this situation, because we're from the mountains and stuff. So I guess it shaped me to become more respectful, at the same time, like to advocate more for the rights of the indigenous peoples, because I would say I'm half, but I'm half indigenous, so sometimes there is like a big a big difference in the community as well. So it just really makes me, but that that background also just give me some some prior knowledge and experience in terms of discrimination. And I've always want to advocate for anti-discrimination, and also like just it also shaped me as being a filmmaker, because I know what it is. Like somehow, if we go to communities, I can relate to people there. I can talk to them easily. So yeah, it shaped a lot from my side. It helped me to become more empathic, I would say, and also to advocate more for the community.
Okay. Yeah, I think. No, I really love your answers to the previous two questions. I think it's so beautiful, and I think it's not something I knew a lot about you. So I'm really happy that we are having this conversation, and I could know a bit about that.
Yeah, crazy stuff, right?
Yeah, really crazy stuff. Yeah, and then so how would you? So if you had to select 3 hashtags to describe yourself or to make people think about you, what would it be?
Oh, no. I hate self-promotion. I really do. I mean, I actually posted something self-promoting in my page and I just cringe, but I do need it because, people needs to know about what I'm doing. But anyway, hashtags. Let's see. Oh my God, hashtag. Wait, let me think. Hashtag fierce. Hashtag be an inspiration. Hashtag changemaker. I think that's my 3 hashtags.
That's so cool. And yeah, what is the best way for people to contact you, and yeah, why should they contact you?
Yeah, you should contact me because I'm awesome. Kidding.
No, that's true.
You can contact me in my Facebook. Just send me a message first. I'm always in Facebook. So my name is Gladys Llanes. And also I'm in LinkedIn, though I'm not always in LinkedIn, but you can contact me there as well. But if you want to email me, introduce yourself and we can correspond. So my email is mglianes@diinsider.com. But really, Facebook is the best place to be because I'm always there.
Okay. Cool. Thank you so much, Gladys, for this super interesting conversation.
Thank you as well. Thank you. You dig into my past a lot. It was really crazy.
Yeah, I was really curious also about, because I know you. I mean, I don't know you, but I know you more on like your media production stuff. But I don't, just from what you post on Facebook or what Linka tells me. So for me, it was so cool to know like more the background of everything that you do. And I was a big fan, and now I'm even more.
Thank you so much for the support for Diinsider and for Change Mag and everything. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And yeah, everyone go have a look at Diinsider, all the crazy cool videos and the Change Mag, and yeah, become the next correspondent, obviously. Cool. Yeah, no, thank you so much, Gladys. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Have a good day.
Thank you so much for listening to the story of Gladys. If you want to be one of the next global correspondents, if you want to be involved in anything related to positive media, if you want to just tell her that you loved her interview, feel free to reach out to her. And yeah, of course, don't forget to subscribe to Lifeline on the platform that you are currently using and to share with your friends if you like this episode. It's really what helps me the most to grow the audience of Lifeline.